Well, good morning everyone, and welcome to another video from our Sunburst Retreat Center. We're so happy to be able to release these videos each week. Each video is dealing with a different topic, and hopefully when viewing these you get some inspiration and which will inspire you to seek God deeper and deeper. My name's Jake, and the topic today is seeing God in every face. And the first thing when you think about that is, how can we raise our consciousness to a level of being able to see Divine Spirit behind every face? It reminds me of an old saying, easier said than done. It's a process that I'll get into. But first I wanted to read the quote that is probably on the first few minutes of the slide, or of the video, introducing this video. So it's from the Bhagavad Gita. With the soul united to spirit by yoga, with a vision of equality for all things, the yogi beholds his self, spirit united, in all creatures and all creatures in the spirit. And when I was meditating on this process of how can we evolve our consciousness to see God behind not only every face, but in every plant and every animal, every creature. And I realized that it's not a mental exercise. It's not something that you can study and mentally put together a process that will allow you to do this. It's a shift in our consciousness that allows us this ability to awaken within us the ability to see God behind every face and everything. One of the ways that we can achieve it is quoted in the Bible when it said, "Be still and know that I am God." And an ancient Tibetan healer once said that the key to healing the body and the mind is stillness, silence, and spaciousness. When we look back over recorded history, we've seen over the years many men and women who have evolved their consciousness to a level of awareness where they see God in everything. They testified to that and taught people how to achieve this. And there's various methods to be able to shift our consciousness to have that ability. There's really 3 levels of consciousness that exist. There's simple, which is basically the consciousness that animals and plants and insects all have. It's just the desire to survive, to eat and to procreate and exist. Self-consciousness is what sets us humans apart from the rest of the creation, because we have the ability to reason, and we have the ability to realize ourselves and our existence in this creation. And most people exist in self-consciousness on the planet today. Cosmic consciousness, on the other hand, is a shift in the consciousness of someone, and they all of a sudden begin to be awakened within to a whole new reality, to a whole new existence, to a whole new purpose for their life. Norm Paulson, who founded Sunburst and studied and lived with Yogananda, he used to say that cosmic consciousness is 180 degrees away from self-consciousness. And you can understand that that's quite a shift in someone's consciousness when you can reach that wonderful plateau of cosmic consciousness. Over the years, watching Norm through all the trials and history of Sunburst, I was able to witness him on many occasions stating things that were really different than the norm or what everyone else was thinking. And in particular, I had an experience where we were involved with some businesses, and we had to make some decisions about these businesses. And Norm didn't really get involved in the day-to-day businesses of Sunburst, but occasionally he would sit in on a meeting or call one of us up and talk to us, ask us how it's going. So we sat, I think there was 4 or 5 of us, we sat in meetings for a few days trying to come up with a solution that we thought would work. And out of the blue, Norm phones up one day when we're all sitting there and says, what have you guys worked out? And so we explained what we had worked out. And Norm said, well, I think we should do it this way. And it was like 180 degrees different than what we were planning. But we did it that way, and it worked. It went so smoothly, and it kind of blew our minds to witness that. So one of the ways that we can achieve stillness, silence, and spaciousness is through meditation. Adapting a meditation technique that resonates with our souls and that we practice it and use it as part of our daily life and evolve our consciousness with every breath, with every meditation. Paramahansa Yogananda came to this country in 1920 and eventually opened up a center in Los Angeles called Mount Washington. It was an old abandoned hotel, and he, put it together, refurbished it, and started vibrationally attracting disciples to what he was teaching. Kriya Yoga and virtuous living, being conscious of the greater self, the divine spirit. And Norm was one of the ones that was attracted to Yogananda. And you can read in his autobiography where he, starting as a very young boy, had visions of this person with long hair and dark eyes staring at him, and he didn't know who that was until he was later in life sitting in a friend's house and saw the autobiography of a yogi on the table and looked at the picture of Yogananda and said, that's the person I've been seeing all these years. Where can I meet him? Thinking he was probably in India. And then the person whose house it was and had the book said, no, he's here in Los Angeles. You can actually go to the Hollywood Church on Sunday and possibly have a meeting with him. Which Norm did. And after meeting with Yogananda, Yogananda said, how soon can you come? And it took took a few days for Norm to throw a few things in a bag and show up at Mount Washington, where he stayed there for 5 years and learned the Kriya technique and spent quite a bit of alone time with Yogananda and received his blessing when Norm expressed that he was having visions and experiences that were different than the SRF existence or lifestyle. And Yogananda said, well, I've always wanted a center in Santa Barbara. And so Norm left with Yogananda's blessing and came up to Santa Barbara. And unfortunately, the consciousness wasn't ready yet. And so he spent 20 years as a mason, as a builder, eking out an existence, continuing his meditations and having wonderful experiences. And it wasn't until 1969 that a small group that had sought him out and wanted to learn meditation in Santa Barbara, together with Norm, they found this abandoned ice cream factory on Coda Street in Santa Barbara. And they renovated it and built some bedrooms and some offices and a kitchen, and that became the first spiritual center for Sunburst. And you can read Norm's autobiography and learn all about the evolution of Sunburst. And here we sit today, still in existence, all those years, having gone through many changes, and still we're here, and we're so happy that you all are interested and tune into these videos. And our hope is that when the COVID is mellowed out, you all can come to the retreat center and experience the amazing atmosphere here and the vibration here. So it's so important that we each find a meditation technique that resonates with us. Kriya is a tested meditation technique that's been around for thousands of years. And it's very safe, and as Yogananda once said, it's the fastest way to God. It's practicing Kriya. When you think about practicing meditation, you have to kind of liken it to if you want to learn how to play the piano or a guitar or any kind of musical instrument, or if you want to participate in a specific sport and be good at that sport. You have to practice over and over and over again. And eventually what happens is all of a sudden you assimilate it, you get it. You know, you're quick enough in the sport you want it to be, or you're playing the musical instrument really well, and it's all because of the practice. That was the hours and hours of practice that were put in before that. The interesting part of the practice of meditation is it helps burn up our karmas from this life and from past lives, and starts freeing our soul to feel the energy of the Divine Spirit. It also begins to dissolve our egos so that we're not seeing ourselves separate anymore, that we're seeing ourselves as part of the whole, the oneness that exists all around us and within us. When Norm was asked how long this process takes to get to the point of having cosmic consciousness, Norm said, it takes as long as it takes. It's different for every individual, every soul. as we come forth in this life and in the next life, the whole purpose that God created us was for us to evolve in our existence and get to the point where we are one with the Creator, so that the Creator, Divine Spirit, can experience this creation, can walk on the earth and put your hands in the soil and swim in the ocean and experience all the wonderful, wonderful things that Divine Spirit, through its imagination, has created here. It's a wonderful drama that the Creator has put forth in this creation. And once we begin to understand that we're part of this drama, we see ourselves having the ability to change our lives for the better, to start living a more virtuous life and reading more spiritual books and practicing meditation and moving forward in our evolution of spiritual awareness. Yogananda once said, "God is with you now. You only have to make the effort to realize His presence. Not tomorrow, but today, this minute." So I'd like to have us all enter into a meditation period now on this video. And if you haven't meditated before, then I would suggest that you sit in an upright position so your spine's straight, whether on the floor or in a chair. And close your eyes and feel your breath. Visualize your breath as it rises and falls within you. And once you have that sensation of being able to feel the breath, then transfer that sensation to the base of your spine. And so as you inhale, you're bringing up your breath through the spine and to the Christ center or the third eye, and then you exhale, you bring down God's light down through your spiritual centers. And this will hopefully give you a taste of what it's like to meditate. So let us sit together now, and I'll come back and talk a little bit more. Welcome back, everyone. I have a quote, another quote from the Bhagavad Gita. He is nearer than the nearest, dearer than the dearest, just behind the words of your speech, just behind your thoughts, just behind the love of your heart, just behind your will, just behind your sense of I-ness is the great Spirit of God. For those who think him far away, he is far away. But for those who think him near, he is ever near. I challenge you to adapt a meditation technique and practice it. Stoke those fires of meditation. Even if you only have 5 minutes, every morning and every evening, sit down on the floor or in a chair and meditate. And challenge yourself to go deeper. I went 10 minutes yesterday, I'm going to go 15 today. I'm going to go deeper, I'm going to concentrate more. Whatever it takes to make that supreme effort to evolve our consciousness. Be ever so patient and kind to yourself. Because we're spiritual beings trying to learn how to be human. And it's not easy. And it takes practice and time and patience. But past teachers and yogis have shown us that it's possible. They have demonstrated in their lives that they had achieved the oneness with Divine Spirit. There might be times when we're feeling like we're not progressing, but believe me, you are. It's subtle changes that happen when we begin to meditate. We might discover that we don't really like that type of food anymore, or we don't like that music anymore, or we don't gravitate towards the books we used to read and we want to go and read more spiritual books. Or there's different ways, very subtle ways, that one can know that the meditation practice is working and that we are progressing, we are evolving our consciousness ever so closer to that glorious day where our soul opens up and embraces Divine Spirit and we become one with that energy and achieve cosmic consciousness. So ever so important, and maybe you might want to write it on the wall near where you meditate, but never, ever give up. Keep going. If you stumble and fall, pick yourself back up. Keep moving forward. Keep practicing. And we will all feel the changes within us and begin to feel the closeness that truly exists with our Creator in us. So thank you so much for being here today, and I hope you enjoyed the video. And tune in next week for another one. Inshallah, inshallah, baruch. Inshallah, 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 baruch. Hey, 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 hey. Kyrie eleison. Hey, 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 hey. Kyrie eleison. Kyrie, Kyrie, Kyrie eleison. Kyrie, Kyrie, Kyrie eleison. Hey, hey,